Agriculture is the biggest scam in human history. Before you come at me, this is in my brain. This idea comes from the book Sapiens by Harari. He lays out some pretty interesting arguments for this, and in this video we are going to break these down. And in the end, I will also give my own take on it. Let's go into the video. Between 6 million to 2 lakh years ago, Mother Earth was shaping one of its most notable creations, a species that would eventually climb to the top of the food chain, not through strength or speed, but through intelligence. Yes, I am talking about us, Homo sapiens, and our many cousins like Homo erectus, the Neanderthals, and so on. While most of the human species went extinct or were pushed to the edge, we as a species managed to survive and dominate. That didn't happen randomly. It happened through three major revolutions: the cognitive revolution, the agricultural revolution, and the scientific revolution. Now let's see the reasons put forth by Harari to make such claim. The first reason is that the life actually became harder. Farming wasn't some kind of aesthetic and peaceful village life which I used to think when I was a kid. The crops needed constant attention, and without the help of machines, it meant intense physical labor. Over time, it led to back pain, arthritis, etc. Basically, the human body was and is paying the price. Second, the food itself wasn't exactly great. Early agricultural diets were less diverse and were often less nutritious compared to what human hunter-gatherers had access to. Before agriculture, humans were dependent on a variety of food sources, and hence their nutritional requirements were met. Third, agriculture tied people down. They couldn't move freely anymore. They had to stay in a place until the crops were ready, and it led to the emergence of permanent and semi-permanent settlements. If there was any contagious disease, it spread like a wildfire due to the lack of proper hygiene. Fourth, agriculture didn't even guarantee food security. In fact, it kind of made things riskier. If crops failed due to droughts or pests, the entire populations could face famine. So, instead of providing stability, which the agriculture is expected to give, you sometimes got mass destruction of population. Fifth, the inequality started to creep in. Agriculture didn't simplify life for everyone. It created hierarchies, like a small group of elites, kings, or leaders controlling resources, while others did the heavy lifting. And yeah, this is when we started seeing early forms of conflict and war. If one tribe had produced ample amount of food resource, then the tribe surrounding it attacked it and tried to steal their resources. Fifth and sixth, if you really think about it, humans didn't domesticate crops, but it is the other way around. Let's take the example of a wheat plant. Before the advent of agriculture, it was found only in certain geographic locations, and the humans worked hard to make the conditions favorable to them. And now, wheat is one of the widely harvested crops and is a staple food for many humans on the planet. It is like we became tied to them, dependent on them, almost like we were working for them instead of the other way around. So, the author's conclusion is that while agriculture may have benefited the human species as a whole, it actually increased the burden on individual lives. Now, here's where I slightly disagree with him. Harari seems to treat comfort and happiness as the only measures of progress. But if you really think about it, The prehistoric humans were in constant chase every single moment. It wasn't some peaceful, balanced life. It was an almost uncertainty. Without agriculture, I don't think humans would have ever had the breathing space to pause, to think, and to understand how nature works actually. That extra stability, even with all its flaws, is what eventually gave rise to knowledge systems. Yes, agriculture comes with trade offs, no doubt about that, but calling it a scam feels like an overstretch. Look at where we are today. All of this, everything around us exists because someone somewhere around the world is working in the fields to produce food. Our ability to sit, to study, to research, and even build science itself depends on that basic foundation. In fact, the scientific revolution would not have happened without agriculture. And let's be honest, agriculture itself is a science. The real takeaway should be this. As a society, we need to build systems and design policies that should actually help improve the lives of the farmers, the very people who hold everything together behind the scenes. And I would like to end this video by saying one of my favorite Tirupurals. சுழன்றும் நீர் பின்னதுலகம் அதனால் உழந்தும் உழவே தலை